Former LA City Fire Chief Kristen Crowley releasing a statement over the weekend after she was demoted by Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass. The mayor criticizing Crowley's response to the Palisades fire. However, many people feel Mayor Bass should not have fired Crowley. KTLA's Annie Rose Ramos live in Pacoima this morning with the details. Annie Rose, good morning.
Hey Frank, good morning to you. Mayor Karen Bass saying she is acting in the best interest of LA's public safety by removing former fire chief Kristen Crowley from her role, replacing him with an interim chief that has over 40 years experience on the job. But this morning, the fire union fighting back, saying that Crowley was terminated for telling the truth.
We all know that 1,000 firefighters that could have been on duty on the morning the fires broke were instead sent home on Chief Crowley's watch. These actions required her removal.
All right, I'm standing here with Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez. Thank you for joining us this morning. We just showed our viewers a portion of that press conference where the mayor talked about those 1,000 firefighters that was let go. What do you say about all of this? What is your reaction this morning?
What's problematic about her assertion is, again, the facts would be revealed in an after-action report, which she herself called for an independent review of. The suggestion that Chief Crowley was not agreeable to participating, really misses the mark on protocol, which is what has been conducted on a regular basis that Chief Crowley has always accommodated. But these after-action reports aren't something that happened within a week, particularly when you consider it was just about a week ago that they were still mopping up from the rains. So, again, I think there just needs to be some consistency in messaging, or whatever the assertions are, that they need to be based in fact, because I think misrepresenting the facts is harmful to not only our public safety efforts, but it really does a huge disservice to the LA City Fire Department and, of course, Chief Crowley, who I believe was really not well served by this action or decision, because I know her work, her body of work, and she has an incredible reputation that has been well earned.
Well, you talk about the misrepresentation of facts, which I think is a nice way of saying the mayor is not speaking the truth.
I have a really big concern with some of the, what has been inferred about her rationale behind this dismissal. I also have problems with the fact that selected members of the city council were informed that this action was going to transpire.
That's a really good point. And first, before you move into it, we were going to pull up a list of the council members who do support the mayor's move of removing former fire chief Crowley from her role. But you say you didn't even know about it.
I was not informed, and much like Ms. Park, who had the fire in her district, I had the Hearst fire, 800 acres, and my district has borne the brunt of many wildfires in the city's recent history. So I'm very familiar with the procedures, how we are all notified, how we are all informed, and so some of the assertions run amiss to what protocols are for our public safety response, what fire has at its disposal, and I look forward to the facts being fully communicated to the public.
Before we go, though, you wanted to touch a little bit more about communications. The mayor, during Friday's press conference, talking about the fact that she wasn't informed early on by Chief Crowley, that she didn't hear from her until later on January 7th. What are you hearing from, because I know you're privy to a lot of those communications and the way that's supposed to work.
It is not within the fire chief, unless there's an active incident like an active fire, it is not within the responsibility of the fire chief to make those communications. That's the emergency management department. That is how our city is structured. So it's the EMD that convenes all of the city departments that would be involved in the emergency response, to be notified for red flag days, for DOT to do enforcement. Sure. That is not within the fire chief's purview. The fire chief would communicate when there's an active incident. Okay. However, what everyone needs to remember is that Mayor Bass was in Ghana. So she would not be communicating to the mayor.
Who would she be communicating
to? The acting mayor, which is Marquise Harris Dawson. So the idea that, as fire chief, that she would communicate with someone who's not even in the country,
as opposed to the acting mayor who was
correct, and the council members that are affected, because I know at 10:30 in the evening on January 7th, when the fire took off in the Hearst fire, I got a call from Chief Crowley.
You did?
I did. I absolutely did, because there's an active incident in my district. And
Right.
I was then en route, and I called the chief and I said, I'm already aware. I'm en route to the command post.
So as far as you're concerned, the communication was working just fine.
Correct.
All right. Thank you so much, Councilmember. Appreciate it. Monica Rodriguez. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio. But before we go, just a note, Kristen Crowley will stay on at the LAFD, at the fire department, in a lower rank, in a lower capacity. Reporting live, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.